Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. This right here is the BMW M240i xDrive. It's a fun car, great inline six turbo, something fun you could take around the track, on the canyons, but is it something you could take across the country without killing your budget of fuel for the year? How is it on the highway? How is it on our standardized 70 mile an hour highway MPG loop test? I'm gonna show you. So join me as I run up to Fort Collins, get it all fueled up at our gas station in Wellington, and let's see how it does.
And now we fill up the M240i. We're gonna do our traditional fueling method. Ooh, got a little extra there. 91 octane, of course. That's what we get here in Colorado. Garbage fuel in our state, sadly. We're gonna go all the way to the brim to where it kicks off. You gotta go on the full speed here. Once it kicks off, then we're gonna give it 30 seconds. You got your timer ready, Jordan?
Yep.
And then we're gonna go all the way full on the handle again until it clicks, and that's gonna be sort of our standard full tank measurement.
And 30 seconds.
There we go.
That may be less efficient. We are now going to reset all the trip, I guess. I think that's in car. Still learning the BMW. Here we go, trip data. And reset individual. Here we go. So let's just get going, shall we? Basically, with these MPG tests, we see how efficiency runs on a 70 mile an hour standardized loop. We use the exact same loop for every car we test, which takes us essentially about 25 miles into just across the border to Wyoming, and then we turn around and come back. So we are going to gingerly take it out of this gas station. We use one here in Wellington, Colorado, I believe it's called, and get onto the highway, ease it up to 70. We basically see how efficiently it can run on a road trip, what you can expect by taking this, say, across the country. And actually, it's a pretty comfortable way to go across the country, if you ask me. So, cross-referencing two different apps showed that it was about a mile per hour slow. So, this should be GPS accurate 70, which is indicated at 71. And yeah, it's just a beautiful, actually stunning day to do this test. Not much wind, but the reason we do the loop, so forward and back, is to counteract wind we run into, because if it's a tailwind leading up, then it'll be a headwind leading back. And this also counteracts the elevation. We are going up into Wyoming, both north but also up in elevation, and then back down just a little bit. It's relatively flat, but this does counteract most of the elevation we run into. So just cruising along here, and so far it's hard to tell with this early on, but the car indicates about 31 miles per gallon right now. So that should, 33. So it's hard to tell, and at the end of the test we will actually see what the car indicates, and then we'll also do our own calculation when filling it up with gas in the same way we filled it up before. So let's talk numbers. The BMW M240i xDrive, it's a long name to remember, starts at around I think just under $50,000, like mid to high 40s. This one, as priced, is just about 55 and change. We couldn't tell quite the options it has, but when I built one just like this on their website, it was just around 55,000, which is really not terrible when you consider everything you're getting. You're getting this great inline six B58 engine with the 8-speed ZF torque converted automatic transmission. And then the EPA numbers, which are important for this test: 32 highway, 23 city with a combined 26. So this specific test is testing the highway. So my goal is to get 32 miles per gallon, and we'll see how it compares to the actual EPA numbers. But yeah, this car is pretty fantastic so far. Just under 400 horsepower, just under 400 pound-feet of torque, plenty of power, which is why I'm probably getting a lot of weird looks driving 70 in a 75. Everyone's expecting me to do 85. I used my turn signal indicator earlier. That probably threw some people off. So Yeah, but it's a great car, honestly. I'm very comfortable in these seats. The nice red leather seats with the contrast stitching. And yeah, really do like two-tone interiors. I've got the black and the red, which just looks fantastic if you ask me. Of course, the moonroof above me. Good infotainment. I'm a huge fan of BMW's modern infotainment. Even this here, I was like, why do you still have 8 presets for your radio? Who actually listens to the radio anymore? Well, some people do, but you can also program those buttons to be certain things. And if you just hover your finger over them, it shows what they actually do. So, pretty cool. And yeah, that means I'm fine with that being there. I just didn't want to waste its space, but programmable buttons are very useful in many cars. The steering wheel is one of the only complaints I have. I think Kyle was on the same boat. It's just, it feels okay, but it's very like thick. You can even tell on the camera here, just it looks and feels a bit thick. It's a bit disjointed from the rest of the car. Like, it does feel like a pretty good driving car. We took it up in the canyons, had some performance evaluation on it, and the steering was the only major complaint. And when I say major, it's still good, but it could be much better. All right, checking in. We are, let's see, 11 miles from our turnaround point, which is exit 7 in Wyoming. And yeah, the average is definitely creeping up. We are now at 30.5 average since the start of the trip. And I think this will outperform what its stated EPA is. Of course, we will find out. I could have a tailwind helping me here. Hard to know. But yeah, the, let's see, 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. Just pulling me along. And I'm not using hardly any of that. You can actually see the power meters here, and they're just way down there at the bottom. It's pretty great. But yeah, very much enjoying the ride. This has the premium Harman Kardon sound system, 10 speakers. Actually sounds really good. Not my favorite, but really good. The bass is a little imprecise. That's the only nitpick I have, but very crystal clear highs. The actual like infotainment usability, very good. I love this wheel system, how well it works with the screen. It is a touch screen, but I rarely have to touch it because I just know how to get around it so fast after spending some time with it and this wheel. But yeah, everything you need is really close to you here on the center console. Steering wheel has, you know, lots of controls on it. It just works. Everything in here works pretty well. I do wish it had air-conditioned seats, especially if I lived in a warmer climate. But here in Colorado, I will say the heated seats are more important. Of course, those are off right now. But it's really a pretty well-equipped car. Heated steering wheel is very hot, if you ask me, but not always. It's kind of weird how it kind of goes in and out of maybe the current drawing just is affected by different factors. But yeah. Really enjoying driving this car. It's very quick, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, claimed, maybe not quite that up here at 6,000 feet altitude, but I really like it. Pretty well featured. That doesn't have the full suite of driver assistance BMW has to offer, but it does have adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning with corrective steering, but not actually lane centering, but it does pretty much everything I would want in a daily driver, especially if you're more of a car enthusiast. You may not want your car to drive itself. But yeah, this is a pretty good single car solution, I would say. Comfortable for road trips, ample cup holders, ample storage space, especially if you don't have anyone in the back seat. But I will say I'm 6 foot and I sat in the back seat for about 2 hours this morning in the canyons, and I was okay. Not great. My headroom was a bit, you know, I was kind of against the ceiling, and my legs were a bit cramped, but I did fit, and I didn't have like a sore body when I climbed out. So pretty good for a 2 Series, I will say. All right, here we are pulling into the exit for the gas station. We have gone 57, nearly 58 miles. It's showing 36.5 MPG average, which is really impressive. We just kind of, you know, drove fairly gingerly. I mean, this is how you would drive if you were doing your own road trip, concerned at all about fuel economy. So let's see how that actually stacks up against the gas we put in and calculate that. One thing that's pretty cool that I do want to point out is the power band there. You can see my fuel economy and where it is in relation to the power I'm using. So it can tell you, hey, you're going to be doing better or worse than the fuel economy that you've been seeing based on how you're driving in the given moment, which is a pretty interesting way of doing it. BMW has great readouts for economy, especially with their plug-in hybrid as well. But here we are at the gas station. Let's get her filled up and see what the result is.
All right, Jordan, we have a whole production crew filming you filling up with fuel. No pressure. And basically same thing as before, gonna go wide open. Got to take the cap off. Yeah, that's the best part of BMWs is that little cap holder. Brilliant. And they've been putting fuel in their cars for decades. So now we're gonna go wide open until it clicks off. We're gonna compare the pump efficiency with the in-car efficiency. You're getting your 30-second timer set. Yep. And then we'll see, kind of average out the results and let everyone know both of them. 30 seconds starts now. That did not take much fuel on the first go. 1.3 gallons is really dang good. This is gonna be probably over 30 MPG. That's awesome. Yeah. Jordan, you wanna read us through some of the results here of the test?
Yeah, so we drove, 57.5 miles?
Yes.
We put in 1.5-ish gallons of gas. So yeah, the car said 36.8 miles per gallon.
On the trip computer.
On the trip computer. We calculated like 37.3. We just did the math.
Yep,
so
37.3.
Equals out to right about 37 miles per gallon, which is 5 better than the EPA, which I am impressed with.
Is that EPA highway?
Highway, yes.
Wow, it's got to be way better than EPA combined.
Oh yeah, EPA combined is 28, so this is fantastic.
Yeah, and that's really just the benefit of this test is to see in a standardized 70 mile per hour loop test. Look, everyone's driving style, everyone's terrain is going to be different. This is just a comparable test along multiple models of cars. If you're interested to see how other cars do, such as the X5 plug-in hybrid and everything from electric cars to, you know, big diesel trucks, we do this same loop and everything. And here I'm pretty impressed with the M240i. I'm glad we got the car on the standard summer tires. This is box fresh, 2,000 miles, just out of break-in period. Probably, what do you think, Jordan? If this thing had like 5,000 or 6,000 miles, once it kind of opens up a little bit, probably do even better.
Yeah, I'll take it across the country tomorrow. Just let me know.
Awesome. It's kind of a car that can do it all. Stay tuned for more videos on the M240i here on Out of Spec Reviews. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.